realized that at the bank, people will be giving money. And when they come and withdraw the loan and they go home, they start defaulting. So we used to go them. I was in the credit team. We go for recovery. And when people pass comment that they don't know what happened to the money, and people have this belief that the money can fly.
Yeah. Someone said the day you start a business is not a problem. When you decide to hire and you don't hire right, that is where the problem starts.
So when you ask me, why are people not buying? Don't just think because of the price. The other thing that will not bring a customer to you, one of the things is the way you serve them. If you are not socially responsible, they won't come. Because they have the purchasing power. They have a staff. Instead of having the job description and job specifications before they join, the people join before they start giving them job description. You get it wrong, you see? So if you want to employ, I think you should have... So when you look at the competition, if there are about 5 restaurants, you are not competing with the restaurants. You are competing on their products and services. So are you competing on pricing or you are competing on location? Are you competing on customer service or you are competing on customer segment?
So today I have a special guest, someone who has played a role in my own entrepreneurial journey. He is a business coach, a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, and is a coordinator of the MBA Impact Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. In fact, I was surprised when he first visited my restaurant whilst I was applying to take up the MBA program back in 2020. I didn't go in 2020, but I went back in 2022, and it's been a journey. And I must say that he has shaped most of the things I do now, most of the ideas I share, I picked up from him. So, Doc, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you, and thank you so much for all that you have been doing. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Doc. Thank you. I mean, I've been your student. I've seen all the things that you do, and I wonder what was the beginning like? What was the drive that got you into all the things that you do in the SME space, and how was growing up like? Because I believe that the way we grow up tends to shape the things we do, and we never spoke about your growing up.
So my growing up has been something that has shaped my life, my mindset, and my thinking. Especially growing up at Ayalolo, around Arena, Katamanto, Agbogoshi, going to timber markets with my grandmother, my mom. Used to work at she's now on retirement, Ghana Highway Authority. I have 4 brothers. Dr. Ayiku is a laboratory scientist. Dr. Charles Nini Ayiku is a general manager at Electricity. And the 3rd born and the last born is Duke Ayiku. So we are 4 boys.
All right, strong team.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So schooling, I mean, where did you start? What paths did you take in education, and how did you land here?
That's interesting. So I started school at Alolo 1 primary school. Then I went to Amomo 1 JSS.
Whoa.
I went to Agri Memorial.
Okay, I agree.
I went to Methodist University. Then I went to Gimpa. And then I did my doctorate at the Switzerland University, and then I did my PhD with the Transcontinental University in the US, and then I did my SIM UK. Yes, and I've been here working at... so my schooling, after school, I did my national service at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. I was in the bilateral unit, doing more of microfinancing. Then I moved on to UBA.
Yes, I know you were with UBA.
I was with UBA. So I learned more of microfinancing. That was where the interest started. And then dealing with SMEs, businesses. I think there was this Rural Financial Services project by the government at that time. So that got my interest. I developed a lot of interest. Then I moved on from the ministry to UBA. Banking was exciting. And I moved on to innovative microfinance, because what I learned from the microfinance, it developed a lot of interest. How can you help people? And I realized it's not just about the money, but people need to be educated to understand what are they going to use the money for. Then at Innovative Microfinance, we had branches in Tamale and some other places. And then I moved on to Digicast Logistics. So I developed this interest to understand how advertising and things works, billboard. So interesting then. So whilst I was there, I had the opportunity to teach some classes at GIG,
Okay.
some part-time classes at KNUST. They had a distance learning, and then the interest started.
Okay.
But I wasn't so sure of what I wanted to do. But during that period, then entrepreneurship became something else. I started reading about it. Then I went back onto the microfinance and I realized that people need help, but people need to be educated. Who is going to educate them? Who's going to mentor them? Who's going to coach them? Then I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So I met you at UPSA
Yeah.
as a lecturer and the coordinator for the MBA program that I took part in.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how you transitioned to UPSA because you were teaching at GIJ.
Yeah.
You're doing some part-time with KNUST,
Yeah.
and then here you are with UPSA, not just running the UPSA program, but the Impact and Innovation and Entrepreneurship and Innovation program that was from Italy.
Yeah. So I got a teaching appointment at the Catholic Institute of Business and Technology. That's where I met E for Impact. So I
Okay.
met Fabio and the team,
Okay.
and we did some discussion on the MBA program they wanted to introduce. And I had the opportunity to travel to the Catholic University of Milan. Then everything changed because the mindset that they had in coming up with that program to Ghana was quite different. They were not going to follow the normal traditional way of teaching. They wanted to challenge the status quo.
Okay.
So then I developed the interest. I said, yes, I want to be part of this journey. So when I moved on to UPSA and the program started there, I had the opportunity to coordinate the program.
Okay.
And the same spirit, the same understanding, the same change that I wanted to bring onto entrepreneurial mindset and then entrepreneurial innovation and orientation. I realized that was what was needed. So it wasn't just about, so when I joined UPSA, I had a class, undergrad class, and I asked them to write down what they want to do after when they finish school. And more than 90% want to work with government, want to work with the 10% didn't even say they will start their own business. They said after after a while. Then I realized that we have a very big issue in this country, so let me take it up. So that's what I've been doing for the past 18 years, trying to
Wow.
understand the Ghanaian mindset on starting a business, growing a business, and growing a family and generational business. So I'm in the learning process.
If you are learning, I'm sure some of us still have a lot to learn. But like they say, the more you learn, the more you realize that there's still a lot to learn.
Exactly.
So I see you and like wearing 3 hats. You lecture, you coach, and you also mentor. I've seen you in almost all 3 shapes, wearing all 3 hats. While in class, I mean, there were days where you were down with lecturing, and then it was up for you to now coach, and then you pick up a few of us, and then you were mentoring us. I mean, I know how instrumental you were in the setting up of the credit union, even though you still owe me being on the board. But quick one, how was that transition? Is it that from the experiences you gathered working with micro, small, and medium scale enterprises, you thought that coaching and mentorship was something that was needed?
Exactly, because I realized that at the bank, people will be giving money, and when they come and withdraw the loan and they go home, they start defaulting. So we used to go them, I was in the credit team, we go for recovery. And when people pass comment that they don't know what happened to the money, and people have this belief that the money can fly, money doesn't like noise. There were so many things. Then I started to do my own investigations, to read, to understand what happened to the money. I realized that 1, they don't have a plan. 2, they don't even know what they are going to use the money for. And thirdly, people don't want to be accountable for themselves. So I said, no. What they need is not just the money. It's somebody to guide them, somebody to engage them, somebody to advise them. Now, who is going to do this? Where does this fall into? So I started reading about business coaching, mentoring. So I started doing certification programs on how do you mentor somebody to change the person's mindset about money, about business, and about life. But the focus is if there's a business person and he's running a business, who's going to tell them the path to
take,
follow?
yeah.
Exactly. So that's where the interest develops. So apart from lecturing, I realized that you don't just lecture. You need to coach. You need to go through the journey, especially when the person is an entrepreneur and the person is alone. So I decided to take up the task of developing myself in these three
Yeah.
paths, just to be more valuable to people I teach and to people I come into contact with. So that is it.
I mean, I've experienced you adding value to the people that you teach. I mean, on several platforms, Apsa, Hub, and all of that. So I know. And then I also remember the early days before I met you. You were on City.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your City days. But I'm here. I have an 8 to 5 job. I teach on the side, and I must say that it's not an easy job. But I see you here. I see you there. The last gig you did was MTN, and I'm wondering, how are you managing all these things together?
Everything is about planning. As much as possible, I try to plan my schedule. At first, I was so busy, I wasn't so sure I'll be able to make it.
Yeah.
But I called you and I told you I will come.
Yeah.
Because I plan. And I think people should have priorities. I don't just plan, but I prioritize whatever I have to do. And one of the things I've learned recently is that there are things that are urgent and there are things that are important. In life, if you're able to understand what is urgent and what is important, it helps you a lot.
Yeah.
So every step I take and whatever I do now, I plan. It's quite difficult because you can't manage time.
Everybody has 24 hours.
Exactly.
But I want to take you back. You mentioned urgent and important.
Yeah.
Explain those 2 points.
So in life, when you wake up in the morning, there are two things you need to do. What is very urgent for you to do for today? What is very important for you to do? There are things you need to get off your desk because the more you delay, the more you add up to what will come next. And there's very things that are very important that you need to be doing to keep up with yourself. Understand that things that are urgent, you clear off. Especially things that are urgent stresses you. They triggers your stress. And if you are somebody who cannot manage your stress, you need to think about these two things. What is urgent for me to do today? What have I done today? What have I achieved today? And by the close of day, every day before I sleep, after praying, I ask myself, what have I achieved? And that accountability also helps change. So people meet me, you have changed. It's nothing. I've come to understand that there's something that is urgent and there's something that is very important for me to do.
All right. That's good hearing that from you. The way you teach, your approaches, and I'm wondering what influenced that. I mean, my undergrad, everything has been here. And when I did my first master's before I met you. And then when I came to the MBA class, it was different. It wasn't business as usual.
Yeah.
It was practical. It was from day one, it was practical. I mean, assignments, everything was. What influenced that? Because you went to school here, your PhD, yes, you did outside, but your first degree, second degree.
So, Harrison, I don't want to be just any lecturer. Anybody who experiences me should take me home. That experience should take the person home. So, for instance, I realized that if this is how people teach, this is how people do things, there's a way you can change that. So I decided to read about experiential learning, experiential teaching. And you can imagine it took me like 5 years attending seminars, listening to podcasts, changing my mindset so that anybody who experiences me will experience the value. So I will not just be a normal lecturer. So when you see me everywhere, it's because of referrals, it's because of the experience. And I like challenging the status quo. If this is how things are done, why don't I change the way things are done? Why don't I become a new person to do something else? So it's about learning and challenging the status quo and not just be the usual self that I have been.
I must say that I've seen you do the things that you say you do. For the MBA class, Impact Entrepreneurship and Innovation that I was a part of, 90% of us in the class were business owners. People were running at a side hustle or full-time entrepreneurs. And I'm thinking that you've seen us, you've seen the core people that you used to do business, we give loans to run after. How has this program shaped your mindset about entrepreneurship in general and this generation?
So when we're doing microfinancing, the focus was on people who were doing tabletop. Their mindset, their thinking is quite different. Then I moved on to meet SMEs. So I used to do business coaching for some shops at Abosokai, spare parts dealers. Their mindset is quite different. They are very comfortable with a small shop. That is how they want to grow. Their growth plan, their go-to-market strategy is quite different. So such people, they have their own limitation and where they want to be. Then I ask myself, what kind of people do I want to work with? People I want to see month on month progress.
Okay.
People who will tell you that I've run a business for the past 5 years and you have seen change in whatever they are doing. So working with all these people, I realized that if you want to see growth, Harrison, it's a decision you have to take. You as a business owner, you take a decision. Where am I now? Where do I want to go? Because remember, your clients and customers are changing. The way they do things are quite different now, but you can't stick and stay. So the convenience shop around your area, how do they sell groundnuts? Small rubber.
It's more of
Exactly. Who is buying from them now?
the street people. Yeah.
Exactly. So whilst your customers are changing, if you don't want to change, nobody will buy from you. So that is the difference that I say that. And we need to grow. We don't need to be comfortable. We need to change our mindset and we need to grow.
I mean, with the same program, I mentioned earlier when you first came to, then I was opening a new branch for the restaurant. And I'm looking at the way you came in, the marketing strategy and everything that you put in. And I said earlier in the introduction that that was new to me. I've been in a private university where we go out there to pitch to secondary school leavers who are about writing their final year exams to have them come and apply or come to our school. But for one-on-one, we haven't tried that. Here you are meeting your students. Most of us you met before we came into the program.
Yeah.
Whatever the mindset.
So there are two things. Either you sell or you develop relationship selling.
Okay.
I saw the MBA program as a project. I saw it as something that I can't feel. So since 2017, I started running at the University of Professional Studies. I made it a point to meet each and every student before they join the program. So 30 students in class, I make my time. Not because anybody has asked me, it's my own cost. That's what I'm saying. I don't see the program as a program that belongs to the University of Professionals. I see it as a personal program, a personal goal. Just like the credit union, that was what I was asking you. It will grow, but you need to put in a lot of efforts. So the success of the program are efforts and changing my mindset from just selling to relationship selling. So I came to you. I remember I saw the restaurant and you realized I was chasing you. You were not willing to come, but it took you 2 years.
Yeah.
That is how the decision-making process is when you want to do a master's program. And I wanted you to feel the value of what I wanted to sell to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MBA program that I did was not just value, it was like network. It was everything for me. The people I met, those I still stay in touch with.
Yeah.
We still share business opportunities
Yeah.
here and there. And it was different. I mentioned earlier that I had already done one master's. I was then doing my PhD before I started this program. And it was different.
Sure. The program is not just about the certificates. We try as much as possible to let our students network. And I can tell you that all the MBA programs that I've managed, the 10 editions, the value of networking, peer-to-peer kind of mentoring, is more valuable than me standing in front of them. Because I hear some of your colleagues telling me things and doors that has been opened by the other colleagues. So we should stop this situation where people join an MBA program. You know, it's all about getting their certificates. There's something more. So the class, even before I recruit the class, I make sure that people are coming will give value to each other before they join the program. Yeah.
I mean, you've touched on what a program is, but for anybody who is out there, hasn't heard this, I mean, I have been an advocate for the program. I've recommended people, anytime someone says, what should I do? I tell them, if you're running a business, this is what I think you should go in there for. But with you, who has been with the program for over 5 years, what is unique about this program?
So I've been with the program for the past 10 years, and we've
Wow.
trained over 300 entrepreneurs, business people in Ghana. So the MBA program trains entrepreneurs, trains people who want to innovate, train people who want to change their career, train people who want to grow in their business. So we are stuck with the traditional way of education where you go to school, you get a master's, and you graduate. This MBA program, you don't just go to school. You go to school to meet people who are giving you real life cases of problems that you are going to solve, either in the workplace or on your business. So the MBA focuses on your business model, teaches courses like innovation, creativity. These are courses that are part of our everyday decision making. And to tell you, decision making now needs to be on point. And for it to be on point, you need to be ready to understand how to solve problems. So this MBA helps people to solve their problems and to grow and to change their mindset and to be able to innovate and bring something new. It's about bringing freshness and newness to the market. And that's what this MBA stands for.
You know, I agree. When I came into the MBA program, I was then running a restaurant. I was just transitioning, and my wife was taking over. And I remember when we did a calculation about profit that was coming in, when we calculate profits and we put all our products together, it looked so profitable. And then we were taught to deal with each product individually. Exactly. So I remember we took the goat dishes and then the pork dishes, and we split everything. And I opened my mouth. I was like, wow, I was just giving out the meats for free.
Exactly.
It was that was a turning point for me. Mm-hmm. And on our menu now, you don't find goat. Yeah. On our menu now, you don't find pork. Not because we can't afford it, but because it wasn't giving us the kind of value we were looking for.
Thank you.
And also the margins you're looking for, goat doesn't give you that kind of margin.
Exactly.
So for me, who has been through the program, it's been practical. It was through that program that the credit union idea came to birth, and then we are where we are now. But for you who has been there, seeing all of us coming in, starting, some already coming with their idea, some coming with their businesses, how has the trend been? Are people coming out growing? Are people coming out starting businesses? Or is as usual, people want certificates for promotion?
So I get majority of my students, more than 90% of them starting something. And my excitement is when a student tells you that he has been able to open an account, has been able to register their business, and they have their first clients. Then I'm excited. So the journey the MBA has made so far is to see people changing their mindset, diversifying, challenging the status quo. And even we have students at Fidelity Bank, about 3 or 4 students, who have started doing something now with their time. So time management is key. And we have medical doctors. Now we have 2 medical doctors in class who are full-time general practitioners. But during this MBA program, they realize that they need to segment a particular market they can serve. So you see, the mindset is changing. People are seeing the reality. And to tell you the truth, this MBA is personalized. You can't go through the MBA thinking the same way you started the program. So we personalize, and it's tailor-made, and it's customized. And we are doing that deliberate because we want to change the mindset of Ghanaians on how they can grow themselves and then grow their business as well.
So for me and my personal experience running startups here and there, I realized that record keeping, bookkeeping, running an efficient operation is a big challenge here and I mean in the SME ecosystem. And how detailed the accounting course was in making sure that you were accounting for every grain of rice that you were using in whatever business you were into.
Yeah.
You wanted to account for it and then see the business for yourself.
Exactly.
And I left there with that. I have my template I don't joke with. And I'm asking myself, how many success stories do you see? I'm sure I've been told you almost everything I do, but for myself, I know that the MBA has been impactful. Take me out. What has been a success stories that
We
come
have a
on?
lot of success stories, a whole lot, every day. Every day they come. One of our students listened to share, but I don't want to mention names because they were going to kill me. He didn't mention my name. She listened to share butter and she wasn't so concerned about white labeling. People come and then she doesn't think. It was during the entrepreneur marketing class that she realized that, listen, you can do white labeling. There's no need for you to go and set up. She said she wanted to go to Ethiopia to go and start the. I said, you don't have to. After the class, now she tells me that she makes more money doing the white labeling because they buy everything for her. She packages and the price changes and she's fine. Okay, we have Cecil.
Yeah, you know,
He's doing so well, getting a lot of money. And we have Bobie, we have Yomi Yogurt, and then we have in your class, for instance, Bless.
Yeah.
Bless model is quite interesting on how he can manage hotels. I was recently in Ethiopia and I have to connect him to somebody who needed such an advice. So you realize that he has moved down into consultancy.
Yeah.
Apart from him, a lot of them are thinking. So the success stories are there, especially those who are implementing the tools that they have been given in class. You talk about the finance template. In the MBA course, you do 3 finance courses: accounting for entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial finance, and financial planning. You realize that our cost drivers in our lives, what drives your costs? Is it fuel? What is it? When you start taking notice, writing them down, the records, and every month you reduce how much money you spend, you're making a big headway. So the MBA program, we celebrate small wins because we know that will change everything.
You know, you as a business coach, you've seen different SMEs here and there, and they come into your class, you engage them on different platforms. And what mistakes do you see SMEs making this day and age?
SMEs now, business owners, still have the mindset that whatever they are producing, customers will buy. And it's quite, even the MTN program I did, I met people who still think the customers will still come back. So I gave them examples of products and services that customers have never come back and they will never come back. Then people also have the mentality that putting structures in place is waste of time. They don't see themselves. Why should I put structures in place? So when you do that and you realize that the business can grow and you don't limit the business growth, it's another thing. The last one I've noticed is managing people. SMEs have the greatest problem is they don't withhold judgment. They judge everything. They have a staff. Instead of having the job description and job specifications before they join, the people join before they start giving them job description. You get it wrong. You see? So if you want to employ, I think you should have the description and the specification before you bring the person in. Don't let the person come and start redesigning it along that person. These 3 things is the major problem. It's not finance. No, it's not finance. If you get the structures right, and the structures, get structures and systems. Be accountable. For instance, when you are spending money and you go for your MTN Momo statement, check them. What did I spend the money on? How can I reduce this? But they are not interested.
You know, you've hit the nail on the head. Someone said the day you start a business is not a problem. When you decide to hire and you don't hire right, that is where the problem starts.
Yes.
And when you hire and you realize at the point that somebody is not fit for the role, that day you should let the person go.
Yeah.
But like you said, once you didn't define a role, letting people go becomes because it becomes an albatross hanging around your neck because there's no binding contract saying, okay, this is what will let you go. And you find a lot of SMEs recruiting and not giving contracts, not having an HR. Everybody thinks that you need to have an HR or some basic things that's still not being done. And I still believe that the bookkeeping is also a key issue here. A lot of SMEs are looking for funding. They claim they are making X amount. They don't have any record to show that you're making X amount.
Nothing.
They are recorded. It's the word of mouth, and they expect that whoever is funding or giving them grants should believe that.
Exactly.
And with all that you've done with SMEs, innovation hubs, and all that, what is changing in the landscape?
So there are a few things that are changing, especially in the tech space. We realize that the tech space in health, tech space in agribusiness, that is moving very fast. So I'm coming across a lot of people with business ideas on how to change farming and how to get the farmer to get their products to the market, and they are using technology to change. So these are the two things that is driving both sectors. I realize that there are a lot of other sectors that are also coming up. Yes, I think for now, those that are leading are the health, because I've seen a lot of pitches on people trying to see how health technology can take over. That doesn't mean that if you're in another business, you will not be able to do that. No. So when you invest in systems, it helps. I want you to think about this. Expectations not communicated is meaningless.
That's true.
And we take things for granted. I've done a lot of business coaching, and the issue now is that they have expectations of what needs to be done, but they don't communicate it. But they are expecting the staff. I don't know what they are expecting them to do actually. Whether they are expecting them to actually know what is in their mind. No. They don't communicate the expectation. And at the end of the month, when you are doing reviews and you are doing appraisals, issues come up and say, I'm expecting you to do this. Then the staff will say, you never communicated. And we are getting it wrong. So the focus for SMEs is to see how they can use tech. Because my mother, over 70 years, the things that she buys to be delivered to her, you'll be shocked. Because that's what she spends her time on. Yeah. She's always talking about apps she has downloaded. When the phone is not working well, when the battery is running out, when you go, she has downloaded a lot of apps. Yeah.
A lot of SMEs are also running in survival mode. Survival mode that when it's payday, everybody is running around. There's short of supply, everybody's running around. And before this question, you spoke about systems. Yeah. Systems. Yeah. How do we get SMEs from moving from survival mode towards being growth focused?
Okay. So let me give you an example. I met a lady doing the MTN program. I taught for 2 days, and this lady said, listen, she does plantain chips. Harrison, you can't imagine that season that there are no plantains, she's off the market. And customers are complaining until she got through these systems, joining associations. When I talk about system, I'm not saying you should go and invest so much. No. She just joined an association. She goes to know that there's a place in Goshu where she can get a plantain, but the price is higher. So what will be a pricing method to use? So then from the beginning of the year, when you know that during the off seasons, plantain you can get it from Goshu, but the price is higher, you do that financials. Yeah. You take it into consideration. And that's how you grow. So for SME, if you want to grow, if we want the credit union to grow, we should be very deliberate about activities. For instance, from now till December, what activities will bring customers? People will need money. I'm sure you know people want a lot of
money.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people looking for loans.
And if you want to give loans, people who I know. So I know someone who produces yogurt, Greek yogurt, and the person is telling me now that she needs to get a lot of milk available
before December.
Because
everything goes.
The person said before October. She knows something will happen.
That's true.
So this is someone who has put system in place, learned from what happened last year. Last year the shortages started in November. This year she's telling me the shortages because she's seeing more yogurt producers who are going to buy milk. What does that tell you? So I'm not talking. Putting your life as a system is making sure that your life is regulated by you, not by anybody. Sure.
I can relate to the Greek yogurt lady. So just this afternoon, the credit union manager walked into my space and said, we have this customer who's been with us since July last year.
Yeah.
But she hasn't really been serious. Mm-hmm. She sells over 300 crates of eggs every week. Mm-hmm. And the model she runs is she buys a feed for the farmers, and she's the first person they sell to. So when you're selling to her, they take whatever money she spent on the feed because everybody knows what the price of the feed is. So when you're buying, you submit your receipt, and then they take that up. And she's like the first person all these farmers sell to. As she says, I know that by December, prices go up, egg will run short. I need money to buy stock, buy enough feed spread to more people so that whilst
Exactly.
production is going up, I know that I can still make. So if you don't understand your business, you don't even know what to plan ahead for.
Yeah, you don't know. And you can never plan and you fail. And you always be on survival. So, hey, this is coming. Hey, that is coming. You're always scared. So that's what happens.
So with everything that you've done so far and the way businesses run in Ghana, what would you say is the best area to invest in now?
Hey, do I know? I'm asking myself because
Yeah.
there are areas I wasn't so sure, but they are doing well. Like somebody who bakes bread, healthy bread. And this has changed. Like somebody who does parfait.
Yeah.
That has changed. So if you ask me, I think when people put in effort, because if you don't take care, when you tell them this is what is, everybody will rush into it.
That's true.
When you put in the necessary effort to sell, you'll be able to sell. So like honey, people who sell honey.
Yeah.
There's one of your colleagues, that's what she does. I said, okay, why don't you try and start doing date syrup? She told Andrews, are you sure people will buy? I said, try it. Then she told me that there's a diabetic clinic. Those who buy the date syrup, they put it in water and drink. Because it doesn't affect their blood. Yes, I didn't know that. I just said, why don't you try that?
Wow.
So you realize that industries that we are not quite sure. Now people are sugar conscious about stuff. So how will you sell in Katia cake and survive in Ghana when people are health conscious? And the only thing you have to use is you use the sugar to hold it.
Or condensed milk.
Exactly. But somebody is doing that with dates and it's
Okay.
helping perfectly. And she said, because he knows people snack.
Yes.
So why don't you take advantage? So I realized that in whatever industry you are in, there are opportunities. And that opportunity, please grow. Just keep growing.
You know, I ask this question because a lot of the time people think that you need to go into a new industry. It has to be something new to make money. And just recently I was talking to a few friends and we said, if 5 of us could bring together 2K each, that makes it 10K a month.
Yeah.
We can easily set up a cocoa joint or a
Exactly.
gobe joint.
Thank
And if we're able to replicate that in 5 locations or even 10 locations, that is a lot of money coming
Exactly.
in. Our challenge is who to leave that business for. You can't be an absentee farmer, you can't be an absentee entrepreneur if you don't have systems in place.
Exactly.
And this question I've posed my dad on the show before. I'm asking, is it the kind of people we are, or is it because we don't have systems? Because the moment the business owner exits, it's difficult to run some of these businesses.
Exactly, because there is no plan. There's no succession plan. And that came up on Saturday when I was teaching the business model canvas, and somebody said, we need to add succession plan to the business model canvas. Because she's a second generation, she's running the business, and because the first generation was running is like something, she wants to change the face, it's becoming difficult for her. There's something, when we come together and we contribute money to set up a company, the first thing is to put systems in place. So when we are not there, the company will run. All the companies we read about, all the companies we aspire to be, they put in such systems. Systems work. If you have to travel for a year, who will do the work? So you put in systems. You can set up a government joint. The supplier, everybody should know. And when somebody tells you, Ghanaians are not accountable, it's a lie. The small businesses that are doing so well, they will tell you, we put things in place. When you put things in place, and even your life, when you put things in place, you see the kind of people you attract. Just put yourself, put value. Make sure that people know you for who you are.
That's true.
Not that you start the cocoa, you start the gobe, and then you go off. Who will come and buy from you? No. People will not come and buy from you.
You know, late last year when the CD was misbehaving against the dollar, or the dollar was stretching the CD, there were a lot of things going on. Exchange rates was high, inflation was there, prices kept changing for power, kept going up. Almost everything kept changing with
Exactly.
time. And I know you came up with an article about how businesses could survive in that mode.
Yeah.
I'm asking, now the CD is stable. We're asking people to reduce prices. Things are coming down. how do you stay in this mode so that in case there are changes, you don't go up, you don't go back there telling your customers that we've had to change prices because of the changing trends? And how do businesses prepare themselves for some of these?
So I've also written an article that yes, the city is reducing, yes, the city is appreciating, but you just need to be very careful as a business person. Careful with how you go about your business operations. If you have a supplier or where you get your resources, make sure nothing happens to that kind of relationship. If you are buying resources from somewhere, you are not in control, and this dollar CD is what is determining, and you don't have a relationship with the person, then every single day your price will change. So there's a need for you to edge, understand clearly, this is what I want to do. And this whole issue of depending on just one resource, one supplier, is one of the biggest mistakes businesses are making. So, although we are all excited about the city, be very careful. And this is the time for you to stock.
Yeah,
Because you don't know what will happen in December.
that's true.
So that article in the Daily Graphic will tell you that, listen, focus on what can I do now. And businesses should focus on things that they have competitive advantage. Starting new thing because the city is down. No. You don't know how the situation is going to be stable or not. But just be yourself and change your business model. When the dollar was high, now change and be ready for any change at all. Consumers have more money to spend now, but they spend on things that are valuable to them. So if you're in the marketplace, position yourself.
You know, in the MBA class, there was a lot about social impact. And sometimes you want to look at how you make impact socially and not lose profit.
Yeah.
For us as a credit union, yes, we want to make sure that the interest rates are good. You're providing financial literacy, you're supporting the SMEs that you're providing loans to who are saving with you to guide them to understand. So it's not just go pick money, give loans, and get interest. So for us, but it's still something I need to invest into. And I can tell you that putting a team out there, doing education comes with a cost. But these are things that we need to do as part of who we are as a credit union. How do businesses handle both, make some impact, and then also make sure that you are staying profitable?
So, for a business looking at the market, what the market is demanding now are socially responsible businesses. That's why when you look at pitches that are coming up, they will tell you that the business should have a social impact.
Yeah.
So if you are running a business and the business needs to have a social impact, then at the back of your mind, your business model should have look at the negative and the positive impact of the business that you are running. Make sure that you help the customer because that's what the customer looks for. You only get funding when your business is socially responsible. Look at climate change. So your business is no more solving problems to customers, but your business has to solve problems to the society. The moment the customer realizes that we are solving a problem for the society. We know about those water producing companies telling us that this percentage is going here. People are telling that we are health conscious. It's a way. But you can still maintain your profitability, and then your socially responsible businesses, your profitability will go high because customers will love what you are doing and helps them to fall in love more and buy more because they know you are taking care of the society. So when you have climate conscious customers, you need to change your business model to be able to suit them as well. Your packaging may be one, the way the kind of office settings you have is another way of being, but it's expensive. Okay, to think about, I'm here to make money. Why am I thinking about the society? That's what your customers are thinking about. So please, stay with them over there.
We got some support from Footprints Africa to change our bags. So initially, we were using the polythene bags.
Yeah.
And then we got some training and support to say, okay, if anybody can bring in a reusable bag, you get points. So every time you come in and don't take a plastic bag, we give you points and you can redeem that with some of our products, either a juice or popcorn or anything. That was something that we were doing. So we're encouraging people to do that. We were also segregating waste. And we got a certificate for all that. These are some of the simple ways that I also think that people can make some impact. Not necessarily bringing in money or putting in money into a project. But a very simple way.
Very simple. There are supermarkets outside the country that when you're going, you have to bring your own bag. They don't serve it.
Even in Africa, East Africa.
Yes, yeah. Kenya and some
Uganda,
other,
you go, they don't give you. If they give you, they charge you for it.
exactly, and it's quite expensive.
Yes.
So you have to go and buy your own bag. And these have changed. Have you noticed that those shops are doing so well?
Yeah.
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 People love it. Exactly. So when we start doing these things in Ghana, nothing at all will change. People will gradually catch up with it.
Recently, I went to buy cocoa with my kids, and this man came with his bowl, and then bought the cocoa in a cup, another one in the bowl, and then asked for the kose, and the woman wanted to put the kose in a plastic bag. But I carried bowls all the way from my house. If I wanted my food in a plastic bag,
Exactly.
kindly give me paper.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I said, this is a customer that, in the olden days, newspapers were out for sale. Now you don't see that anymore. So there are people who in their own space and individual are trying to make an effort. If you are serving such a customer, he comes in, you are giving him everything plastic.
Yeah.
It won't work for you.
So there are social responsible customers who will never come to your restaurant when you are selling it.
Yeah.
So now businesses, so when you ask me, why are people not buying? Don't just think because of the price. The other thing that will not bring a customer to you, one of the things is the way you serve them. If you are not socially responsible, they won't come. Because they have the purchasing power. When people start doing this and business leaders start changing their mind, we will have a very good country that we will all be proud of.
That's so true. So I again hosted two friends from Senegal, and every restaurant we went to, they gave us disposable spoons.
Yeah.
So they kept asking for,
Yeah.
and I told them that is a trend. So that was our first date. We went to like 2 places, and then they told me, "Man, your country is filled with too many plastics."
Exactly. Yes. I was in Senegal and you never get that to be said. Even when you are taking coffee,
Yeah.
they have this wooden stuff that they've designed and it's quite interesting.
So sustainability is becoming a buzzword, I should say, and people are doing different things. Some people are going green. Some people are trying even branding and all that. What would you say are the simple things that SMEs coming up can do to be sustainable?
So for sustainability, I think SMEs to take it as part of their business models to invest in things that will make them sustainable. For instance, if you are buying plastics, and we know, I don't want to mention names of some of the businesses, there's a shop closer in Adenta where they are using more of paper. And when you look at their books, you realize that a lot of their cost has reduced based on the kind of business model that they are using, and that is more strategic. I saw a business pitch that the customer was talking about the fact that they needed to use solar for their production, and I was more or less like, why?
That's expensive.
That's expensive. But the lady has done about 5 years project, and she's saying that the kind of money she spends when the light is off, she would rather prefer
To use solar. Yeah.
And I said, oh, wow. And that argument, such a person will get the money. So it's deliberate. Apart from solar, what else? There are solar fridges. There are things that you can do to help your own sustainability. Can you imagine something that has a 10, 15, 20 years lifespan? You close your mind when you do it now. So for me, I'll tell you that there are so many ways, but it depends on your business and what you can bring on board to be able to grow. Yeah.
You've been in the financial space, so digital payments, e-commerce, and now remote work. I mean, before COVID, there was no Zoom.
Exactly.
Now Zoom is out of COVID.
Yeah.
And all these things are changing. How do we get SMEs to adapt? I mean, you can't pay a full-time accountant. Can you get one that works from home? Can you create a template that he can access from wherever he is and give you a report and work just twice a day? How do you advise SMEs to adapt to all these changing trends?
So that's why I talk about systems, because SMEs, QuickBooks, a lot of these things that are there that generate reports that you need. Okay, so when you are not ready to learn yourself, when you are not ready to accept some of these things, then you are in big trouble. There's an advert in Uganda where the lady went to 10 shops, restaurants, no cash, nobody takes cash. Momo, before they serve you, they walk you out. Even water, they walk you out. I was shocked. It was a short advert documentary where in that particular area, they said money is so dirty for them. No, but what they are trying to do is to tell business owners that even somebody selling by the roadside, and they have a scan code. They scan and they will take the money.
Yeah.
What are they trying to do? So if you're a business in Ghana and your focus is to wait for the customers to come, but you're not using delivery, you're not using digital payments, you see the efficiency of your business is based on systems. Invest in a system that will help you to know your sales by the end of the month. Not when your salesperson has run away with your books. Where are you going to see the person? And now, take receipts. They're electronic receipts where you can track real life transactions on your platforms. When you invest in that, wherever you are, you know exactly what is happening in your business.
You know, in my class alone, I think we were doing restaurant. Diane was also trying to do a restaurant. And somebody else was also trying to come with a food business like that. It all means that there's competition.
Exactly.
When we started the restaurant, we're just probably like 2 restaurants in the neighborhood. Now there are about 10 new restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm asking, how do SMEs survive in this day and age of competition? How do you survive the competition? How do you not necessarily outdo the competition, but make sure that you are still in business?
Sure. So when you look at the competition, if there are about 5 restaurants, you are not competing with the restaurants. You are competing on their products and services. So are you competing on pricing or you are competing on location? Are you competing on customer service or you are competing on customer segment? You should understand what you compete on. So most people, when they think the customer is more interested in the price. So have you noticed when people enter into a restaurant, they want to communicate their price to them first before offering them a seat? That is the Ghanaian mentality. But this is changing. So you should know what you compete on. Your price can be 19 Ghana cedi per plate. But what else comes with it is the game changer. So I've been to restaurants where they tell you that, a plate of food is 100 Ghana cedis. I said, oh, wow. Realize that they give you apple, they give you wipes, they give you other things. I think I've experienced that in your restaurant before. So those things, those added value is what is the competition. So what differentiates you? Your environment can differentiate. You can charge more based on the environment. You can charge more based on customer service. You can charge more based on delivery. You see, when people understand that you don't compete at the company level, but you compete at the products and services level, it helps you to grow your business. So for me, no matter the competition, you can win when you know what you compete on.
I agree. I always say that since we opened a restaurant back in 2019, we've never had a day off. And we are mostly like the last restaurant to close. So we close, as the name says, 11:15 p.m. That's when we close. By 8:30 a.m., the restaurant is open. And competition comes. But I realize that we've had return customers.
Exactly.
Like, everybody who was calling. And we run a business model where about 80% of the customers run delivery. So they don't walk in there. And the people who come in are matured people because no noise, serene environment, estate, no. So I agree with you. Say know what you are competing with. Not just there's a new restaurant. I'm selling fried rice. They're also selling fried rice. So I have competition. No, there's difference.
Yeah.
The entrepreneurial space again. I mean, I'll say that's 10 years that you've been with the E for Impact.
Yeah.
And then comparing to your days in the bank and the microfinance space and all that. Comparing these, what we are doing now and what went on in the past, what would you say has really changed?
People's mindsets. Now, people are not scared to finish university and go into entrepreneurship. In the past, let me go and work somewhere and then go back if I don't get. That has changed. Yeah. Secondly, there are a lot of opportunities in the space now. And people can also be entrepreneurs, not just going to set up their own businesses, but they can also, in the current business that they are working, grow, come up with new ideas, challenge the processes, the systems. So over the weekend, I was telling the participants that when you talk about innovation, it's not inventing anything new, but innovation can be adaptable. Innovation can be the processes, the way you sell, the way you talk to customers, the way you deliver issues, stuff to them. So things have changed. And then the customers now and the customers in the past. I remember in the past, microfinance, people were coming to the office to take up their loans. Now I know loans are just given on mobile money and they track loans. Yeah. So things have changed. The customer I knew those days are not the customers now, and the customers can change tomorrow. When you have that at the back of your mind, nothing can stop you as a business.
Wow. I like that you mentioned the customer. So the customer's behavior is changing, and we have to adapt to that changing behavior.
Exactly.
How do entrepreneurs align their businesses to this changing behavior?
By looking at the customers' trends, by listening to the customers and getting the customers' feedback rather than fighting them. When a customer comes and tells you, this is what I want, and realize that resonates with about 10, 20 customers, do it for them. Don't say, this is how I do things. When you say, this is how you do things, you'll be out of the market. So just listen to them. They are talking to you. Watch their actions. Observe them. Interact with them. And get feedback from them. Not feedback that you want, but feedback that they are ready to give you. You will survive.
Great. So if you have to give any business or this generation of entrepreneurs 3 tips to survive for the next 5 years, what would they be?
For the next 5 years, be reliable, be adaptable, and be flexible.
All right. Can we take them one after one? Reliable. What
So
do you mean?
customers now will pay for reliability. They will pay and know that you are very consistent, you are reliable, and when you say you are opening at this time, you are opening at this time. Customers now want you to be adaptable to their situation. You need to be very adaptable. A customer will come, a normal customer will come. Today they have changed. They want you to be very adaptable. And the system, look at COVID. Look at businesses that, yeah. So you need to be very adaptable to the. If the dollar goes up tomorrow, are you going to put the cost on the customer? Exactly. Finally flexible. We shouldn't hold on. The customer wants you to see you grow. The customer don't want this, the way you talk, the way you dress. No, the customer wants flexibility in whatever you do. Whilst you are being reliable and adapting to current situations, they want to see flexibility. They shouldn't say, this is what I want to do, because the market trends are changing, so you should be flexible. So when they move here, you move there, you are able to be with them. So reliability, adaptability, and flexibility is what will help you grow.
I like that. So in Accra, and I mean in East Legon, where Adenta is Legon, if I have a flat tire anywhere, I know where, or anybody calls me, I have a flat tire, I know where to direct you to.
Exactly. Why?
Because they are always there.
Thank you. And they are reliable.
Yes, they are always there. There are some instances where you're able to call some people, they're able to even come to your service
Exactly.
and come and service you.
Yes, so that way they are adapting to the current need. So I have a fitter who, anytime I have an issue with my car and I call him, when he comes, he brings a car, give me the key, tell me to go home. The only time he comes back to me, this is what is wrong, these are the old parts, these are what. And I looked at him.
Yeah.
So that guy, he says he knows I'm very busy.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that guy is not just reliable, he's adapting to my situation, and he's very flexible. You can imagine the guy will bring you 3 invoices to choose one. Why? Because he knows he wants to keep me for life.
Yeah.
He wants to keep my friends. But those people who, when you come to their shop, you come to their businesses, they are not ready to adapt to your situation. Even designers, creative guys, they want to do something for you. Me, I can't change. This is not for you. Are you the one paying? You are not. It's the customer. So just listen to them.
You know, everything we are doing in the E4Impact space, in the tertiary education space, to change people and prepare people for the life ahead.
Yeah.
And I've been working in this space for over 18 years. What changes would you think that we need to make to the entrepreneurial ecosystem for a country? And I'm asking this on the basis of one thing. I think that everybody cries of fraud, employee fraud in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
It is not today's problem. There are people outside who know that they could bring money down for jobs to be done for them, but you don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
And I see that as one of the key problems we have, as not just in Ghana, but like across the continent. Beyond that, what do you think we need to change?
So we need to be security cautious. Whatever we need to do to make sure that whatever investment we've done, even our own personal investment, from cybersecurity taking care of your offices, everything. And during the MTN class, there's this guy who said he has something that helps you to monitor your production. To the extent I said, when a product is, even one product, he has a system that will alert you. It's very important. But I think it's our mindset. A typical Ghanaian businessman thinks about now, but not the future. So their focus, whatever they are doing, is to satisfy the customer now. But they've forgotten that the customer has future needs. So Harrison, Adenta Credit Union, do you think the people's saving methodology now will be the same saving methodology in the near future? No.
No.
So for you to be able to grow, check what systems are you putting in place to reduce all those issues that other businesses are experiencing. What are you putting in place? No matter who you trust, business owners should take their security as one of the key, because it will break you down. A friend of mine went to ATM and he saw some guys around, like, just took his money and went home. When he got home, he realized that his phone just had a message that money has been withdrawn from the same ATM he went to.
Whoa.
Whilst he has his card. When he went to the bank said, what happened? Apparently, he didn't even wait. When the card just came out, he didn't let it end. The guys went there and they took more than 30,000. So your own security, what are you doing about your own security? We need to be very conscious about our own security. And I think it's one of the things that every business owner should do. Check your emails. Sometimes you see them using emails. Pay for.
not to use cracked versions of softwares and all that.
Exactly. That is it.
But for you're engaging young people, let's look at the undergrad students that you're engaging. If there's any advice you give them, those who are considering entrepreneurship after their first degree, what advice do you have for them?
I think undergrads thinking about entrepreneurship should know that one day can be entrepreneurs in the businesses that they have the opportunity to work. So when you join the company, challenge the status quo. No matter which industry, because that's how you grow. When you enter a company, this is how things are done. How can we deliver faster? And we shouldn't be scared because there are a lot of opportunities now. So when you get an advice from somebody who will tell you that 10 years, 20 years ago, it was difficult when you set up a business to collapse. Now the story is no more. Now people are surviving. People are having breakthroughs. Farmline, all those Ghanaian companies are doing so well in the market because they are solving a problem. Please, if you are a young undergrad and you want to start your own business, think about the problem that you are going to solve and make sure that the problem is real, not a fake problem. Secondly, they should have a strategy for their lives. If you want to run a business, it's not going to be easy. But people are doing it. People in other countries are doing it, and nothing stops you from doing it. So change your mindset, have an entrepreneurial orientation, think like an entrepreneur, think like somebody who wants to bring change. Anytime you want to bring change, you realize that your lifestyle is different.
I like that. Value. I think once you're giving value to people, then you know you are in business.
Exactly.
Once you're solving a problem, you're
Sure.
in a business.
Sure.
What are the most valuable lessons you've learned? You've worked with all of us, one head, everybody passing through, engaging different people. What are the lessons you've learned from the people you've engaged so far?
It's quite difficult because I've learned a lot. But over the period of time, I think I've learned to have a lot of patience because it gives clarity. So initially when I was doing business coaching, I was always quick to respond when I talk to people about their businesses. Then when I get home and reanalyze whatever discussion, then I realized whatever I told them was totally wrong. I wasn't seeking clarity. So now I ask more questions. And I'm very patient to listen and ask more questions. That's one of the things that has happened to me. And then ability to look for solutions and move away from problems. So now, is this the problem? Okay, what's the solution? Also, another thing I've learned is that let them be.
You don't have to change everything.
No, you can't solve every problem. No, you can't get all the people here. But it will be better to get 500 regular than to go and change 5 million. And let them be. If somebody is trying to copy you, let them be. If somebody is trying to run the same business you're running, let them be. Nobody can be Harrison. Nobody can be Identity Credit Union. Nobody can be Leverage. Nobody. So let them be. Because nothing will stop that passion, that waiting spirit, and that staying spirit for you to stay in business. Nothing will stop you.
Doc, so this is a question I ask everybody. I say, if you had to go back in time, is there any aspect of your life that you think you would want to change?
Yes, I think what I would really want to change was to spend more time with God. I wished I
You
have
drum in
done
church.
that. I drum in church.
You still do?
I still do. I've joined the men's fellowship. I'm still part of the gospel band, and for me, I think that's one of the things that if I've done, I'll be so excited because now I miss those periods that I should have spent time. So now I spend time waiting upon the Lord, and His grace is sufficient. And knowing people like you, that gives me the strength. Somebody will say the university doesn't pay much, but the excitement is no more money. It's meeting people, seeing their businesses grow, people calling you and saying thank you, people listening to you and coming back to you. So a lady doing the MTN program apparently recorded me and sent me the recording today and said, "This is what you said. I was always judging people in my company. And today somebody told me, hey, now you don't judge us since Monday." She said, because I said, withhold judgment. He said, "God bless you." I said, "Oh, wow." He said, my staff told me for the first time, you've not said anything that you have judged us.
Wow.
She said she's always shouting. And when I told them I'm very calm and patient, say when they are doing, she watches them. And this week, nobody has stolen anything. Everything is fine. Just because I told him to keep quiet. And I think it works.
All right.
Yes. And let them be.
Look, I mean, it's been an interview waiting for a while.
I know.
But it's
I
finally
know.
happened. So for every
Exactly.
entrepreneur out there who probably would have missed any of our shows, this is a must listen to. This is a must watch. There's someone I have engaged, and I mean, I've been in this class for, I'll say 19, 18 months or 2 years. I've known him for a while, followed him, listened to him all your days with CTFM and all that. So there's a lot out there to do if you are looking at starting a business. There's a lot that you can pick from this conversation, and I want to say a big thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
I pray that our paths cross again. We get to make impact together. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
All right, thanks for coming.
You.